If you are anything like me, or just thinking, man, this country's lost its ever bleeping mind. Get home here. Welcome to the Ghost Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of the state, nation, and world that we live in. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm very excited. There are a couple things. We're going to get to a off the rails piece of legislation that is going to hit the ballot in Oregon, and it has to do with. It does have to do with us, and I mean it's dicey as it gets, but it's ambitious. If nothing else about the other side, you can say they're ambitious. All right, they definitely are ambitious. But you might notice, I don't know if you know, recognize. That's right, new swag. I got some new hats, and I got the upgraded logo. Check this out. This was the old busted nonsense that had been wearing for years. Right here, see this old busted nonsense, and we've upgraded to the new hotness. You see, but again, busted, new hotness right here. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm quoting Will Smith from Men in Black 2. Are we allowed to quote Will Smith? Maybe. Maybe, I don't know, but very, very happy with these. There's one more edition coming. It is the all black PVC patch, so it's going to look pretty cool too. So, stay tuned. Stay tuned. And I did mention that intern Beans is now graduate Beans. She graduated with her bachelor's degree in biosciences or something to that effect. She's the kid that said, I want to be a marine biologist, and is actually going through with it. One of the very few. And then she's moving on to her master's program and then to Dr. Beans. Pretty cool, right? But this is her last chapter at Northern Arizona University. So being the cool dad I am and being connected with super schmooper cool people like Jason Costello from Canning Coolers, I had to get my girl her first Canning Cooler. Now, it just so happens that Jason and Canning Coolers hooked up with NAU for a limited edition set. Like, they've got a yellow, like, Go Jacks kind of yellow cooler. Beans didn't want that. She doesn't know if she's going to be living in like a one-bedroom apartment, studio, whatever she's going to be doing. She doesn't need more stuff, and God bless her for thinking that. But ain't no reason you can't have a Canning Coolie. All right, the Canning Coolie is the cooler backpack. Check it out. Look at this bad boy. How about this? Huh? Look at this bad boy. What? It's a backpack. That's right. Look at the padding on this thing. Oh, it's so nice. And branded with the Jacks. How about that? Yes. So Beans is very, very excited about that. And she wore it for a few minutes around the house. I'm like, okay, that's enough. Dad needs it for a show. Okay. Yeah. But pretty cool. So there endeth the swag portion of the show. Thanks for hanging out again, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of state, nation, and world that we live in. It's just so good to be back. It really, really is. Last night we had the board meeting for Wildlife for tomorrow, and we are gearing up for the Hall of Fame event and 820 Day. So Hall of Fame banquet is our induction banquet that we do every year. Somewhere between 5 and 8 people that have dedicated their entire lives to conservation here in Arizona. And I mean, dedicate, blood, sweat, tears, conservation, wheels off, sold out the entire time to conservation in Arizona. They get inducted into the Arizona Outdoor Hall of Fame. So just by Barry Goldwater's in there. So we go way back. Babbitt's in there. I mean, the who's who of Arizona history is in there. And if you think about, Babbitt, governor, this and that, here's the deal. We owe Babbitt a big tip of the hat just for having water when you turn your tap on. So water important to conservation. Very, very important to conservation. So we are excited to gear up for that. And that's what the meeting was about last night. And the 820 Day, which we have trademarked at Wildlife for tomorrow. 820 Day is our day of giving. And give on August 20th to any amount of 820 you can. $8.20, $82, $820, $8,200. You know how it works. 82,000. Go nuts. 820. We're good. Bring it. We like 820 grand. I would love that. If somebody can just kick in 820 grand, you would be doing a lot for your Arizona Game and Fish Department and Arizona Wildlife. A ton. I'm telling you, a ton. Let's get to Oregon. And again, we don't do politics here, but this is absolutely wild. And I said that I would always bring up initiatives and things that are going to be ballot measures that are going to be on the ballot here in Arizona as it pertains to Arizona wildlife, hunting, fishing, conservation, camping, public lands, anything. I'm going to bring it to you. So what I would like to do is introduce you to a piece of legislation that is going to hit the ballot in Oregon. And I'm going to go ahead and assume it's a slam dunk because I know how these things work. They need about 15,000 signatures for this to be done. They already have well over 100,000. I think they need 15,000 more. And this thing goes to the ballot. And it is the dumbest thing I have seen in a damn hot minute. It is Oregon IP 28, if you want to look it up. Oregon IP 28. This is the Peace Act. Give peace a chance. Nope. No. This eradicates hunting and fishing altogether. No mas. No hunting and fishing. It is literally a piece of legislation that will ban in the state of Arizona. I'm sorry, state of Oregon. My fault. Not my fault. No, not Arizona. Don't freak out. Put your pitchforks and your torches away, please. Whew. That was a close one, Baines. Yeah, so put the backpack down. I know it looks cool on you. It really does. Yeah, okay. Yes, we'll send a picture to Jason. So proud. In Oregon, this is going to eradicate hunting and fishing of every sort. And by the way, it basically makes illegal the not only take, but the ending the life of, the unlifing of any animal. So how y'all gonna put your dog down? How you gonna put your cat down when it's time? Interesting. So we're gonna dig into this here and exactly what it is. Let's get to David Mitchelson. David Mitchelson is the initiative's sponsor. This is his quote. "We really want to make Oregon the first state to vote on something like this. We are aware that it's unlikely 50% of Oregonians wackos are ready right now to move away from killing animals." Oh. I can count the hypocrisy in anyway, killing animals, but we want to get the conversation out there so that we can hopefully move in that direction. Our goal is to introduce people. Often, many people for the first time will hear about what alternatives to killing animals even exist right now. Cuckoo. Yeah. This is when conservation, because these people are too unintelligent to understand that the outdoor sportsmen in this country are the funders of and the front lines of conservation. We have example after example. We'll get to that in a moment. But David Mitchelson is so uninformed that he thinks, wow, we just stopped killing animals and everything's going to be wonderful. It's going to be bedlam. But let's get to the opposition. And I'm absolutely blown away about this opposition, by the way. It hurts my head. It really does. Enter Levi Barrera. Levi is with Oregon Hunters Association, Hoodview chapter. Hoodview. Yeah, you think of the origin of some town, and never mind. Hoodview. Okay, here we go. It's a northern state. I don't think it would. Anyway, let's go. Here's what he said. Quote, "There are a handful of predators that do make a huge impact on our herbivore species like deer throughout the state. Ungulates, if you're an intelligent human being. If you take away hunting, there will be an out-of-control effect on the population, even bigger towns that rely on agriculture side of things, not just the economy and fishing side of things." It has great impacts through communities that rely on hunting and fishing and that really sustain their communities and their families throughout the year. The industries that rely on hunting and fishing, coastal towns, rely heavily on the fishing and fishing and salmon fishing industries. End quote. Gee, thanks, Professor. This guy is not helping our side by any stretch, but he is known in Oregon as the opposition. Levi Barrera, Oregon Hunters Association, went with an argument that was just as childish as the actual piece of legislation itself, Oregon IP20. The eradication of hunting and fishing or any type of killing of animal. He had a litany. He had a list. He had volumes of arguments against what David Mitchelson was saying here, or what this is proposing. He had volumes of things to talk about. He comes up with there are towns that, economically they need to kill fish. So, and then if you can't kill predators, then there's going to be lots of animals around. That's what they came up with. That's why I know this is going to get on the ballot. I am sure that this is going to get on the ballot. 17,000 or whatever signatures they need, that's a chip shot. With this kind of opposition, here, I'd like you to sign our petition. I'm David Mitchelson. I'd like you to, the people actually kill animals. How barbaric is that? They kill poor, helpless animals. It's barbaric, isn't it? Isn't it absolutely barbaric? Yeah. So we'd like to eliminate that, and we'd like to, if nothing else, even if the initiative doesn't pass, we just want to get the conversation out there. Okay, we don't start the conversation on maybe we can find a middle ground. Oh, I'm sorry. Before you sign, you want to know the opposition. The opposition is that there's going to be a lot of deer running around, and wolves won't be able to kill them, and coyotes won't be able to kill them, and that people need the money from killing fish. Would you like to sign? And those people that go around and get the signatures, by the way, the people that go around and get the signatures, they are well paid, well compensated. Very well compensated. Per signature. It'll be on the ballot. So this obviously is dicey, and I'll give you a reason why why it's so dicey. There's an organization called WAFWA. Please, it is a fun word to say. It is difficult to remember what it's about. It's the Western Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, big meeting. Queen Bee will be there. Fantastic, representing wildlife for tomorrow. Your Arizona Game and Fish Department will be there as well. When those agencies get together in the Western states, they look to Arizona basically as what are you guys doing? What do you guys got going on? What's happening over there? Because we are kind of trendsetters. We've made some bold moves here in the state of Arizona when it comes to our rights to hunt and fish. Some might say that they are not good ideas, and I would agree that some of them are not good ideas. I would also agree that a lot of them were great ideas because it stopped horrible ideas from going through when HSUS comes to town with, millions of dollars to eradicate hunting here in the state of Arizona. So the reason why this is important, you look at Oregon and the anti-hunting, anti-Second Amendment states are going to watch what Oregon does. And by the way, I encourage all states to look what other states do. When the legalized medicinal marijuana, remember that debate was actually a debate, medicinal marijuana back in the day. And don't give me that look. Don't look at it. Yeah, come on. I know you at the dispensary. I know, no kid yourself. The medicinal marijuana, everybody's clutching their pearls. Colorado passed it. And I was pretty unpopular in my opinion when I said, let's just see what, see what happens. Let's use them as a case study. They're not Arizona. I don't care. Let's see what happens. And all the other states saw what happened and they jumped on board. They're like, we like some of that tax revenue. Let's go. And so, look at that as a case state. There's a lot of anti-Second Amendment states and there's a lot of anti-hunting states that are going to look at Oregon, see what they do, and see how it goes. It's not going to end well. I assure you, it's not going to end well. But that's from a rational man's standpoint. You understand, in I want to say 93. It was the early 90s. California banned cat hunting. They banned mountain lion hunting. Mountain lions are still hunted in California. They have to be. But the people in California, the legislators, give tags to their buddies because they have to. They literally have to cull the population of mountain lions, or all of their habitats are jacked up. The circle of life, so to speak. So they give it to their buddies. They can go get them a California mountain lion, but don't say a thing. So this idea, if it passes, which it can, it does have an outside shot. If it passes, their state conservation agency is screwed. Screwed. There's no way. The populations of animals will just go absolutely haywire. And that is bad. Let's get back to Levi Becerra, the Oregon Hunters Association Hoodview chapter president. Schmuck. His only argument is, well, it's going to take money away from the fishing industry. Shut up. He can explain the North American model of wildlife conservation. The North American model of wildlife conservation, I don't have to bore you guys with this, is it's a proven model. It was developed over a century here in the United States and has become the gold standard, the jewel in the crown jewel. Yeah, jewel in the crown jewel of conservation worldwide, the North American model of wildlife conservation. The major tenet of, or at least my favorite tenet of, is science-based conservation using outdoors men and women to cull populations and maintain healthy populations of all animals, which maintain healthy populations of the others, which maintain healthy populations of others, and so on and so on and so on, keeping the great circle of life going here in the United States. It's funded by outdoorsmen. Funded. So your Arizona Game and Fish Department does not get a dime from the General Tax Fund of Arizona. Governor Katie Hobbs is the boss lady. Then there's the 5-member commission, and then the director, Tom Finley. That's the hierarchy. She's the boss lady, the governor is, but there's no dough getting down to Tom Finley from the General Tax Fund of Arizona. So we have something called the Pittman-Robertson Act. This is part of the North American model of wildlife conservation. Pittman-Robertson Act puts an 11% excise tax on all outdoor stuff, a lot of outdoor stuff, a list of outdoor stuff. It started as just firearms and ammunition and expanded out to stuff that we use outdoors. We pay an 11% tax on that. That gets divvied up amongst the states, and that funds their conservation. If I were any sort of federal administration right now, and Oregon passes this, I'd immediately remove them from the Pittman-Robertson Act. Have fun. Have fun. If you're not going to have sportsmen and women participating in the system, then okay, bye. Adios. Now it's going to be divided up against amongst 49 states. Took care of that problem, didn't we? People don't think in scientific terms. And it's funny. It's coming from a party that says, believe in the science, trust the science, trust the science. Okay, well, here it is. We're trusting the science. Science is winning. And you're just going to say, no, let's just tug on the heartstrings. I got an idea. Only vegans can vote on it. Only vegans can vote yes. If you're not a vegan, you're a hypocrite. Pound sand, kick rocks, adios. Because you're going to be standing in the voting lines chomping on a Whopper that's made from dead cows and vote to eliminate the ability for anyone to hunt and fish and take an animal. You don't get to vote. Period. You do not get to vote. There you go. I fixed that problem. They're pretty easily, right? And by the way, I will only debate hunting and fishing with vegans. I only know 2 vegans, and I'm talking vegans. One, we were at a barbecue a few weekends ago. We were at, and by the way, I hope you had a great holiday weekend. Sorry, kid, I was so happy about the hats. Kid, I hope you guys had a really good holiday weekend. I was at a barbecue, and the vegan was there. The vegan, so funny. Beautiful. Awesome. The vegan. She was asking, there was Spanish rice. It was a big Mexican spread, like carne asada and carnitas and chicken. It was fantastic. The rice, she was like, this is basically the only thing you need is rice. And she had to ask if it was made with butter or lard. That's how vegan she is. She gets a say in this. 100%. And if I sat her down and had a discussion with her about this Oregon law, she would say, I really like the Oregon law. I really, really do. I think it's fantastic, but I understand, Mike, that's absolutely absurd to do. That's going to hurt more animals than it helps. Yeah. But you think, oh, wow, oh, yeah, the vegans are going to be all over this one. And, those that are out there supporting it, those that are gathering signatures for it are complete hypocrites, unless they are just diehard vegans, like the two I know that probably of the 5 that I've met in my 51 years on this earth. So I think that it's hypocritical, it's laughable, but it'll probably pass. Oregon crazy. Oregon's gone nuts. So I think they could pass it. But I think only vegans should be able to vote no for it. Vote yes. Sorry. Then you're not being a hypocrite. I think this is an opportunity, though. So what, I'm going to go back to, was it David Mitchelson? When he said, our goal is to introduce people to this, start a conversation, really. And, okay, cool. I welcome that. I hope David Mitchelson, I hope he is a vegan. I hope he doesn't drive a nice car with leather seats. It's the same as the fuel debate. Oh, we need to stop digging for fossil fuels. Then what are you going to make this out of? That's what plastic's made out of, you knuckleheads. What's your alternative? What's your idea? Right? Oh, we're going to stop hunting and fishing. It's so barbaric. It's cruel to animals. You're sitting in leather seats. That was an animal. That's a leather seat. Animal. Actually, it's genuine imitation leather. Pleather for the cool kids. Where was it? What the hell? Squirrel? What was I talking about? Beans. Beans wasn't even paying attention. Oh, you know what I was just talking about? Anyway, yes, but I hope that he is a vegan. There we go. I hope he's a vegan. That'll give me respect for him. Okay, dude, if you want to start a conversation, you better come with it, because I am an unapologetic hunter. I'm an unapologetic angler. That is food for my table. A lot of food for my table. My freezer is full of food for my table with animal proteins. I'm not like, oh, yeah, I just want to go kill animals. No, I hunt for the experience. I hunt for the connection. And I hunt for the food. And I got to tell you, I am connected. I can go into my freezer. I am connected to what is in there. There is a bond that happens. And if you have never taken a big game animal, you don't understand this. You will if you do. And if you have, you get it. And if you don't, you're probably not hunting with me. There's one of, if it's brown, it's down. If it flies, it dies. Yeah, they're not the people I hunt with. There's a connection to that animal that you have taken and is now for the nourishment of your friends and family. But I'd start the debate. I think that this is a good learning opportunity. Well, why would people want to eliminate hunting and fishing? Let's talk about that. Why is hunting and fishing needed? Cool, let's talk about it. No one else is talking about that. Everybody's talking about how many Democrat seats, how many Republican seats coming up in this election. That's all they're talking about. They're not talking about they're not talking about the things that, I don't know, make the world go around, like conservation, that preserve what we have and what we do. This might rally the troops. I'm just trying to paint some sunshine, put a little silver lining around this Oregon bill that is going to be voted on this November to eradicate hunting and fishing in the entire state of Oregon. I mean, look, biologists, scientists, their Department of Conservation is going, this is a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea. And they're thinking, that's just because you get money from licenses and tag. You're thinking about money. You're not thinking about the poor animals. Like, no, we're thinking of the animals. That's why we exist. We're not here to make ourselves rich. Trust me. I know enough people in your Arizona Game and Fish Department. They're not there to get rich. They're not there for the gram. They're not there for the private jet lifestyle. I know the boss of boss. I know the boss's boss. I don't know Governor Hobbs. I've spoken to her, but that's about it. Don't know Governor Hobbs. Any of those. No one's doing it to get rich. No one. Well, you know what I mean. Those that have a Arizona Game and Fish AZGFD email address, I'll put it that way, are not there to get rich. I'm tiptoeing around politics, guys. I've been out of the game for a while. Sometimes they kind of yank me right back in. But this might rally the troops. This might get us, kind of wake us up and kind of blow the dust off our ability to really defend the North American model. Might really get us to engage people into conversations again. I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm telling you, I walk the walk. I practice what I preach. That vegan that I talked to you about at the barbecue, I wouldn't doubt it. If she would at least come fishing with me, I'd probably get her come fishing with me. Not fish. She would never do that. But I could probably get her to go with me. We're just having a conversation. But I have the ability, after all the years of doing this show, since 2013, I've been doing this for 13 years. I have the ability to talk to damn near anyone about the North American model of wildlife conservation and the benefits, and talk about how the American sportsman is used as the front line of conservation. I can do that. And maybe this kind of a case helps us blow the dust off that ability and just get back in the game and rally the troops a little bit. And I tell you what, that side better watch what they ask for, because this will get a lot of conservatives to come to the table. Again, I'm not talking politics, but this is going to probably wake up a lot of people that weren't going to vote in this off-year election. Probably going to get them to vote. Yeah. Anyway, things aren't thought through. But this, and it'll also be a case for, and you probably not have heard of this place before. It's the International Order of Teddy Roosevelt, or Theodore Roosevelt, or T. Roosevelt. I think it's the IOTR. You can look it up. The International Order of Teddy Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, or whatever, T. Roosevelt. Their goal, their very well-funded goal, and I know they're all over this Oregon thing. Their very well-funded goal is to make it a United States Constitution, not a state constitution, a U.S. constitutional right to hunt and fish. What that does is that gets us to stop worrying about these individual states that jump in and just trample on what we believe is our right to do this. And of course, you got to understand the Oregon law has backing, financial backing by the Impossible Meat people and, the Bill Gates of the world. That just want us to eat bugs, which is funny. It's still an animal. So can I kill? That's a good question. Can I kill a fly? A fly buzzing around? Can I smack a mosquito that's sucking my lifeblood out of me? Oregon, y'all crazy. Oregon, you're just going to get what you deserve. But again, might wake a sleeping giant. And that sleeping giant is the American sportsman and woman. That is the sleeping giant, and I think it might wake them up, and I think that would be a really, really good thing. There we go. Speaking of that, I have to get to a Wildlife for Tomorrow little meeting about planning an event. I'm not an event planner. I just show up to these meetings for comedic relief. That's it. That's why I'm still the vice president. They're like, he MCs our events, and he does our auctions, and he's funny. That's it. I come up with a good idea every now and again. I think that's the keep me around. I come up with a good idea every call or so. I'll come up with an idea like, hey, and I'm like, ow. I haven't ripped this thing out of my ear. Ow. And it didn't come out of my ear, and that's what made it go, ow. Oh, okay. I'll get out of here. We will see you on Monday. Again, thanks for allowing only one show this week because we had a holiday on Monday. So let's do it again on Monday. You guys have been fantastic. We'll see you then. This is the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of the state, nation, and world that we live in. Hopefully new